What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Logic Bomb podcast. Been a couple weeks. We missed you. We've been very busy, though, and we have lots to talk about now. We're going to talk about the new map came into Siege. I haven't gotten to play it on the live servers yet. It keeps getting banned for me, so we'll talk about that a little bit. New event went live in Siege this week. Pretty awesome, I think. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some esports stuff as far as some ping issues in Asia. As well as we're starting to know all the qualifiers for the Charlotte Major, and at least we know all the NA. I think EU is getting settled today. So yeah, lots to discuss, and let's get into it. What's up?
Yo.
Hey.
Man, we are high energy today.
I was going to say, you picked the brightest co-host you could have, man.
No, I think we need to keep this like... What was it he said in the comment? The sleep-deprived college student energy. I like it. It's fitting.
It.
Well,
that ping thing. Can I get an explanation of what that was about? Because we talked about it just before the stream.
So, obviously, when they moved APAC North and South separate, they had to work out what they were going to do with Australia. And people can argue this however they wanted, but Australia is the problem here. None of the other regions are really that far away from each other that they are, quote-unquote, the problem. Australia's always been the problem, but they've always had decent enough teams, especially in the international sphere, so you can't exclude them, and so it became a problem. So they went, all right, let's just do APAC North and South. COVID hits. Okay, well, we just forced them to play online. What happens when you force Australia to play with Southeast Asia? You get pings that are
150?
should be at the very least. You get pings that are unplayable. They force them to play on these pings. They force them to use a VPN, and in doing all of those things, the problem isn't solved. And so when they're doing APAC playoffs, for example, like now, the Australian teams or vice versa will play on ping that makes it so, like, for example, there was a moment in one of the games today where they were extending their shield. On screen, the observer, the shield is fully extended, but they died through their shield. And that's because, obviously, the shot went through before, yada, yada. We know ping-related things. So players don't know what to do. They're very upset, yada, yada. So that is the long and short of it.
I mean, that should be fairly simple, right? Because it's just not okay.
It's not okay.
There's not a lot more to it, because it's not fair for the team with a high ping. It's not fair for the team with a low ping.
Yeah.
It's horrible to play against, and it's horrible to play as. And you cannot figure out what the better team is with that.
So what do you do? Do you separate the regions again and give an extra spot?
Why not? Like, if you can't get them to play close enough, if you can't get everyone to be under, and like I'd say 90 ping as the very, very maximum, even that is a horrible experience when it comes to comp.
Well, okay, so wouldn't the simplest but probably most expensive solution be to hold the qualifiers on a LAN?
You can't. Not in Asia. Not in
Because
Australia. We have some of the
COVID
biggest
protocol?
COVID rules in the world. Yeah.
That also doesn't change anything, because that's only your qualifier.
Yeah.
Right.
What about everything else?
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
I
Well,
don't
the
know. I don't see
qualifier
another...
is, I mean, the playoffs are like the only international or inter-regional one that they have outside of the qualifiers, I suppose. But there are qualifiers as well, you're right, which then supersede into the playoffs. And I don't know how many of those spread across multiple regions, but it's enough that, one, there's not enough money in APAC South to pay for what you're saying. Only North America has enough money for land like that, and even then it's tenuous.
And it's not even just a money thing. It's not that NA has that much money to throw around, right? It's also that it's just easy for them to do it.
Easier.
It's impossible to get a visa in Australia to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, the Australian guys can't even get into Japan. Like, it's...
Yeah.
So, I mean, is this like a situation where, like, man, look, like, we're doing the best we can, but COVID sucks, and this is unfortunate. We feel for you, but I don't know what the solution is.
This was planned before COVID. Like, this is the thing, as I said to the players, like, this is the circumstance, and you have to play in it. But they should have come up with a redundancy when the pandemic struck and said, well, this is not going to work in a pandemic world. These weren't the plans we had originally for this, like, you know, sub-region plan. And they should have said, we're going to go back to Oceania as its own region. Maybe SCA and APAC North battle it out for spots. I don't know. I don't know what the ping is like there, but they should have changed it to something else. And the fact that they didn't means that now players have to fight amongst these sub-regions and complain when they're not the problem.
What's Valorant, CS, Dota, League? What's everyone else doing right now?
Their own their own fucking region. Like Japan is its own region. Korea is its own region. Okay. No north, no south, no. Yes, there's SEA, of course, but like, you know, there's obviously the very, very close knit SEA. Oceania doesn't have a team.
I'd rather see the overall national like quality of play drop and then have it be more spots, but only get one from each country. If that's how you're gonna do it. Sure, it'll be easier to qualify. So what? Then you're gonna have everyone there being upset that, oh well, Australia gets a free slot or Japan gets a free. Someone's gonna try and see if they can take it at some point, right? And it's still better than having to play at 150 ping or above.
Well, yeah. Didn't they do something with Brazil where they brought the qualifiers to the event and did like the final qualification there? And then
at Sweden, yeah.
Yeah, so what about
that? But that was because they fucked it so royally.
So okay. So like I guess, you know, just brainstorming without being overly familiar with the topic, you know, if they broke it down like you were saying, like Valorant and CS are doing now, where Japan's its own region, Korea's its own region, Australia's its own region.
I mean, that's very intense in Siege, but
right,
sure, yeah.
Right. And then, you know, the champions from those regions come to Charlotte, and before that event starts, they play their interregional qualifier there. The winner goes on to the tournament or whatever, you know, the two top teams go on to the tournament there, the main event, and the other ones go home.
Is this your budget?
Yeah, I get. You know, I mean,
is this your budget?
Okay. So what? You're flying what? Maybe 4 extra teams to the event and putting up in a hotel for a week, something like that.
Okay, you severely misunderstand the budget for Rainbow Six Esports.
I guess so. I mean,
I don't think like team-wise is a very, very small part of it. Bringing a full team plus hotel, all of that is a very small cost compared to just a venue. Very, very small.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we do the math on that. No.
From things I've been told, it's very different.
That might be, but it's not a big thing. And then if you can't get the budget to that, you might not be able to afford running a comp. If you can't bring the teams, then you don't have enough money to run the competition.
Yeah.
Correct. And knowing what some venues cost and what some of the events have cost, bringing in 5 extra people or 6 extra people with a hotel that's pre-booked, food, all that, it's almost nothing.
It should be nothing. I 100% agree with
you. No. But it, like, the amount of money is not going to be less or more whether you're Riot, Ubi, or anyone, right? Like, it doesn't matter. The money that it costs to bring a team in is going to be the money it costs to bring the team in, unless you do something crazy.
Yeah.
Correct.
You don't have to live at a 5-star hotel.
No.
Right.
I just, from what I know, which I obviously can't speak in depth about, I know that there are costs that are cut so that bigger venues and whatnot can be the priority. I know that venues and everything are the priority, and other things have to be cut as a result.
Yeah, but that's normal. Everyone is doing that, right? Like, everyone will always put the venue first, and then teams come like 5th.
Well, but I think maybe the issue is the prioritization of the venue compromising your competitive integrity. I think that's the big thing we're talking about here, right?
Sure.
Which, you know, to me, like, yeah, you can read into that some, but you can also say COVID sucks, and it is, you know. But I mean, we've been dealing with it for a while. Like you just said, maybe they should have had workarounds at this point. I don't know. I think the bottom line is I feel for the players that have put in a ton of work and are, you know, grinding to try to, you know, hit this goal that I'm sure they've set for themselves and their team, and to do it with 100 ping on a VPN is tough, man. I feel for him.
It's not.
I don't know what was the point of the VPN. So I understand you might be able to get different routing, and they might be able to lower the ping by like 10 or 20 or something max.
To them, that's a lot.
Yeah, but was that why they were forced?
I assume so. Yes.
But
and then when they offered alternate VPNs that offered better, routing or whatever, they would deny it because they have the selected VPN, the only one you're allowed to use.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. All right. Well, I feel for my heart goes out to those players, and that sucks. I don't know. I want to talk about the map a little bit. Are you guys okay with that, or is there anything else on that topic?
I just hope it gets sorted out for them.
Yeah,
I know what it's like to be from a small region, a region that sucks when it comes to globalization. So I hope that gets sorted out, and the biggest excuse will be that is managed by ESL and APAC South, which is Ubisoft Australia, I believe, does some of the stuff with that. So if it's managed by a completely different management group, it's going to be very easy for Ubisoft Global to just turn around and say that's their fault. Which, if it is their fault, what can we do? So that's it.
Okay. New map. I'm
Have
sad.
you played it?
I'm sad.
Oh.
I'm sad. I have not played the new map in the live servers yet. It's been banned every time it has been available to me. As a solo queue player, I feel like your odds of playing the new map right now are pretty low. And I think that it's pathetic. I'm just gonna say it. Listen, it's a video game. Everybody's welcome to play this video game however they want. Okay. But for the Siege community to yell at the devs for lack of new content and no new maps for 3 years, and then to ban it and not even give it a chance, it's just pathetic to me. And like we talked last week about, or the last episode I think it was, about the how crosswalking in this site with an F2 is, maybe more viable now. And it's debatable, whatever, there were different sides of that argument. Utility playing a smaller role, just talking about how people are planting less. I think this whole thing has been such a revelation to me. And to me, what it comes down to is that the Siege player base right now is lazier than it's ever been that I can remember. And I say that in the sense that the Siege player base right now, the people playing Siege, want to get on and rank up in the easiest way possible. And they want to do that by getting on and shooting the other team in the face. They don't want to have to do setups. They don't want to have to breach walls. They don't want to have to plant. They want to get on. They want to pick Twitch. They want to shoot the other team in the face, and they want to rank up. That is it. They don't care about learning. They don't care about trying new things. They don't care about stratting. They don't care about any of that. And it's so sad to me. It like, I think about like year 1 and year 2 of Siege when we would get new content, and it was all about, okay, let me see if I can figure out like the best mirror placements on this site. Let me see if I can figure out the new lines of sight. Let me see if I can tear this map apart and really break it down. Let me see if I can be the first person to come up with a really cool strat for this site. What are the best sites? All of that. And now it's just like, ban it because I want to rank up. And I want to rank up in the easiest way possible. And that's it.
God, that is the most beautiful rant I've ever heard.
Yeah, I could have listened to that. That's my new ringtone if someone could send me that. I need that. I'm playing that every night I go to sleep. I mean, I'm just sitting here nodding like a bobblehead because everything you said is how I feel, and I don't think I really knew how to put words. So, I mean, you and I have obviously vocalized it in different ways, that people don't plan as much, we feel, they don't open walls as much, whatever. We're trying to point out all these little factoids that, feed into that one point, and that people are lazy. People are lazy. People want to rank up. I think the ranking system has been one of the most crippling parts of Siege that has brought it down to its knees for a very long time. The introduction of Champion, double, triple folded that. I think there's just so much that we've lacked from the very beginning. And I think if we had started Siege now, we would feel 40 times better than those of us who had started Siege 2 years ago. So
I think Ubi has massively fucked up with their FOMO route in ranked.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea of champion, the leaderboard, the way this whole thing is being handled, or has been handled up until now, it's all about just keeping people there and caring about, oh, I just got to win the next game. I just got to win the next game. And it doesn't matter at what cost it comes to, right? Like, we've mentioned it a million times. Cheating has definitely gotten worse since Champion was introduced across all ranks. So has smurfing to some extent, and the idea that we can see the elo, all of that. It's just made for a less pleasant competitive setting. And then people can say, "Oh, but it's just ranked." Yeah, but fuck you, because it's all like 99% of us will ever play.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the highest for most of us. Then there's all these tier 4 goblins that are pretending like playing like one scrim makes it a massive difference between rank. It really doesn't. Right? If we could take rank serious and try our best and try to learn new things, test new maps, do setups. Like I've played the new map probably 10 times in ranked so far. But we've done this by saying we're banning Emerald as a stat.
You're the liar on the other team.
100%. I am trying to deceive as many people as possible with the whole we ban this map thing, because I hate the fact that you can even tell the other team what map you're going to ban. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
We get to play it, and then I spent a little bit of time on it custom, learned a few cool things, and you get a kill doing one of these like little elaborate setups or something, and people will lose their shit. Like, oh my god, you're stratting on new map. Oh, you spent time in custom. Like, how is that a bad thing? How should you not be sitting there thinking, holy fuck, maybe I should go and, spend 20 minutes in a custom game and just walk around, just like look at the map. What could I possibly, where are the bomb sites? What could I do here? Where could I put my electric claw so it's harder to deal with? Like, how is this possibly some forgotten art in Siege that you could actually spend a little bit of time to improve your possible matches like in the future? But no, it's just like click rank play and then blame everything else if it doesn't go your way.
I've heard people who won't play with me because I expect a certain standard in my stack if you stack with me. You want to know what that standard is? Default setups and drones on flanks. That is my standard, and people won't play with me because they're expected not to alt tab and watch a flank drone when they die, and they're expected to at the very least, have a composition on defense that has a setup with some lines of sights, maybe, a kite on the wall here or a hatch there, a default, and people are like, oh no, Jess is too serious about the game. Oh my god, I hope your chair has one of those poles in the middle that drops down in between it. That's what I hope.
I have the same, like, I think the bare minimum. So maybe this is just like old angry boomer shit. It might be.
Maybe.
But if I'm in a 5 stack, you say when you go AFK.
Yes.
If you walk away from your PC, just tell people. No one's gonna say right? Like no one's gonna say, "Oh no, you can't go for piss." It's not like it's not cool. I'm not gonna stop you. But just say you walked away.
Right.
Instead of dying and then being like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go do something and not letting anyone know, because you like, I'm gonna assume, and the thing that scares me and makes me sad is that I have gone from assuming that you will be on a drone when you die to assuming that you won't.
Yeah, that's bad. Yep.
This has happened like the last 2 years. Yep. I would rather play in low gold for the rest of my life with people that are automatically getting on a drone, giving like mediocre callouts, but trying.
Yep.
Instead of these self-righteous, egotistical super pricks that play in champ that are so cocky. I got my kill, right?
Yep.
Well, I got 2 entries with Twitch, and then I died, and now I'm gonna go on TikTok.
Yeah. My buddy
oxygen thief.
My buddy Foles says that like Plat 2, Plat 1 is peak enjoyment in ranked for solo queuers, because you'll end up with that's the best teammates that you can get. Any higher than that, and it just turns like toxic, like peak everything, crazy, and that random teammates in Plat 2, Plat 1 will set up a site and do things better than higher rank random teammates will. And,
Plat
that's
3
a general.
It's a bit of a shoot fest.
Yeah.
It's very tedious.
Yeah.
It's very tedious because when I get placed in the start of the season, it's a shit fest in Plat 3.
Yeah.
But then between, my run back to Diamond 3, that area, I will say if I do solo queue, it's not the worst in the world. So, yeah, okay. But Diamond 3 games, most of them have been cheaters. So I stopped playing on, like, back when you had multiple accounts because you just couldn't, because, like, it would just get you would dodge or you team kill, you get banned and stuff like that. So I go on another account. So I can't really speak to that. Have you been playing Diamond 3 above recently, Zernik?
Yeah, I've had my champ twice.
Okay. Has it been okay?
But no, it's been horrible.
Okay, sorry. My apologies for asking.
I've played. Wait, I'll check. I think today I hit the same. Yeah, today I bypassed the same amount of ranked games as I played last season.
Wow,
in total.
That's great.
Today,
and I will say, overall, I have had some insanely good games, like some really enjoyable games, both in stacks and a solo. I've played solo. I just wanted to try for the last like week or something. I've tried to play as much solo as possible, and it's been all right. Okay. What's been funny, and this is a thing we normally as content creators get a lot of shit for, right? Is that we call everyone sus, or like we're doubting a lot of things. I've been changing my name as much as I can. I get recognized even when solo queued. Probably, I'd say more than 50% of the games. So Ubisoft, if you're listening, your streamer mode doesn't work for shit, and you need to change that.
Yep.
It does nothing.
The numbers at the end and the third party are just going to give it away every time to people who care.
And they add me as a friend.
Yeah,
and they add me as a friend, bro.
But it's been hilarious to see how many in the games where you don't get recognized quickly, how many times I've been called out for being sus, or a random teammate on my team has called out a random guy in the other team that I didn't notice anything on, or the guy in the other team called out a guy in my team. No one trusts anyone anymore.
Yeah.
We are all assuming that if there is a guy with 1 kill on the other team, he's boosted, he's a cheater trying to lower KD. It couldn't possibly be a guy who just dropped 13 kills the last game and just had a bad game, right? It couldn't possibly be that. And if a guy is dropping double digits, he's smurfing, cheating, or something, right? No one is ever, like, they never look at each other and go like, oh, yeah, we'll play. Nice shot. Half the time I see people write nice shot, like 2 rounds later, they're insulting the same dude. It's absurd what ranked has turned into.
Well, so all right, I guess what has got me thinking is, okay, so Counter-Strike, for example, it is a game that is at least from my perspective, it's a game that the direction of Siege is heading, and maybe we're there where you only have the super sweaty players left. Okay. So I guess my question would be, is Counter-Strike bringing in new players? Because I feel like here's what I'm getting at. I feel like new players looking at Siege right now feel like they are so far behind and that they have so much to learn. And if they are the type of player that I would call a casual player, and keep in mind, whenever I'm saying casual, I'm not saying they don't play ranked. I'm just saying I call a casual player a person whose goal is when they log on to Rainbow Six Siege is to have fun. And they can do that.
I'm a casual.
They can do that by winning or by losing.
Shut up, Zerody.
It's more fun to win. It's more fun to win for everybody. But it is possible to still have fun in this game and lose if you played a good match against people who weren't cheating, and maybe you learned a new line of sight, or you learned a new setup or something like that. Like, I walk away from those matches like, wow, that was fun. You know what I mean? It would have been awesome, more fun to get the win. But anyway, my fear is that that player is gone in Siege. And I have some evidence to back this up, okay? For example, if you look at the Steam charts, the new event, which is awesome, by the way, I think it's one of the best new events that we have had, didn't move the needle on the player base at all. If you look at the day-to-day comparison, there was not an influx of players that got on to play the new event, okay? Launching the new map did not move the needle on the player base at all.
Really?
So, yeah.
Are we talking about the new season?
The new season, yes. New map, no.
But, right, because it was dropped later. My apologies. Yep.
What comes with the new season? The opportunity to start ranked over again. The only reason people are playing this game right now is to rank up. Nobody cares about new content. Nobody cares about arcade modes. Nobody cares about any of that. They just want to rank up. And it's so sad to me. The game is so much more than that. Like, I don't know. So here's what the current player base is, and it's possible that console player numbers are different. Okay, it's very possible. But here's what the current PC player base is telling the devs: do not touch this game. Do not add new content. Do not add arcade modes. Do not add anything. At best, maybe you mess with some nerfs and buffs here and there, but most of the time that just upsets them because you're messing with their main anyway. Don't touch this game. Just leave it alone and just let us reset our rank every season and we'll be happy.
I have a counter argument.
Okay.
I have always thought Ubisoft's, and I have no doubt this might be a contentious point for multiple people inside Ubisoft trying their best to do this. I think the marketing inside Ubisoft is the worst of any game I have ever played or been part of or worked ever in my entire career. I think the marketing is abysmal. I think the fact that it took that many years to show Pro League games or to make marketing, attempts in any way about different arcade modes or event modes or anything like that is so bad. I would not have known about Rengoku unless someone else had messaged me to ask if I was going to play it on stream. I wouldn't have known about it. Where would I have seen it? Tell me where I was meant to see that. Where?
I guess
I will say
a Twitter post.
CS is worse.
Okay, yeah, and I haven't worked CS really like that, and I don't play it that much, so I don't know for sure. But if that's a good comparison, then CS players can listen to this and then understand what I'm saying. I guarantee you, if they could give me shit all budget, and I could market this in a way that would be impactful because no one else has seen it marketed properly outside of Ubisoft Connect before. Maybe on their Twitter, maybe it's like a week in advance, one post with like a nice little GIF that goes with it and it looks pretty and that's cool. But if you're not following it and it's not promoted to you, where else do I see this?
I think a big problem is I wish the Rainbow Six team had full agency over the game.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, and I get that, like corporate structure, all that stuff, and they have to go through Ubi, but so many of these small little annoying things would have been let's take the thing with like the fact that you can add anyone to friends list no matter what.
Ugh.
Right? The Rainbow Six team can't do shit about that. That's an Ubisoft thing. How is that not a setting that is very important to be able to turn off? Right? Like, why isn't that a standard?
Because Ubisoft has one multiplayer game. Ubisoft is still the company of Far Cry and Assassin's Creed more than they are the company of Rainbow Six Siege.
100%. But the idea of having a platform is not a new one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. You're
like if I was gonna build my own car today, I'd try to follow like the rule of I should probably have 4 wheels and some doors and windows. Like I could learn something from people, right? Maybe there should be an engine. I'm not gonna just all of a sudden have 3 wheels, no engine, and 5 antennas. Like it's not that complicated to remember some of those things. It might be complicated to make them work. I will never claim any kind of experience or knowledge on that. I have no clue. But it doesn't seem like it's not there because it was difficult to do, more because it was just like an oversight, right? Then
I think there are people trying. I think there are genuinely people trying inside Ubisoft, which is why I put my disclaimer.
Yeah, they're just not being
because
listened
I've
to.
heard people who have said to me, "I'm trying to do this," and 2 years later it happens. 2 years it takes them to get that through the pipeline of whatever structure is inside Ubisoft and beyond. I'm like, are you kidding me? It takes you 2 years. No wonder people leave left, right, and center because they can't do the things they need to do their job.
I was having a rant about skins yesterday. So I've never minded if skins made you a little bit difficult to see or something like that, because I've always thought that in comp, just make it so there's no skins, and then for the rest of us, and I mean including ranked, because I don't care if you get chant because someone has Ember Eyes or not. I couldn't care less. Allow people to have the skins on. It's good marketing. It's good promotion. If we go through the different uniforms, so headgears are quite different, right? Like there's a lot of headgears that actually make the character look a little bit different and add some sort of flair. Some of them are horrendous. The toaster headgear for Jackal, I still despise it. But look at the uniform on operators. Most of them have, I'd say, between 2 and 4 different uniforms. The rest is the base default uniform with a reed texture. It's not even like there's not a pouch or a pocket or bullet or anything that is different on that character, except for just the shader put on top of it. That is a horrible way to try and add skins to a game. You look at Overwatch, I've only played it a tiny bit, but you look at someone like, I think the easiest one for me to remember would be the Soldier 76 guy or whatever his name is. There are plenty of skins that make that guy look slightly different, right? Like slightly different build, but you can still see that it's that character. If we take Siege for Mute, for example, you have the standard, you have the Mute Elite, you have the Battle Pass one. That's it. Everything else is all the standard Mute skin with different textures on. But then you have like 5 or 7 different headgears that make his face look completely different.
Yeah.
I don't get why they aren't putting more effort into that. And it all goes into now the event with the packs. I don't care if they charge $5 or $100 for the packs. But why put so little effort in that it's just a slightly reskinned texture and nothing else? The headgears, again, cool for the ones that like them. I'm not a fan, but cool. They do something. All the uniforms are the same. And you cannot sit there and defend it and say, oh yeah, but it's because they want the characters to look alike. Fuck that, man. Like half the time I just see the head. I can't tell if it's a samurai head or a toaster or a paper bag, or I'm not gonna know what operator that is if I'm new to the game. Right?
Yeah.
And also when you then look at elites,
right,
the headgear changes massively, so that can't be the defense for it. But there are so many like small little things, and it goes a little into the marketing stuff as well. Like, why not? Why not?
That's my question. Why
have
not?
good skins that people want to buy and allow them to buy it? Remove this FOMO bullshit where you have to buy a group of packs. And I'm not even like trying to defend the people that couldn't control themselves and that have to buy the packs and stuff, but because I've never cared if you can afford the skins or if you want to buy them or if you can't buy them, or it's just a luxury thing that you might be able to get. But there are so many people that would probably enjoy having a cool uniform or a cool skin. Like, just allow them to have it.
So, I mean, I think I'm the perfect example right there. With these most recent packs in the event, if I could individually buy a couple things, I would have. And I would have spent some money on it. But I'm not going to buy the whole bundle.
I'm not going to buy it for some of those reskin, exactly what Alex is talking about. They are literally the same gun with a different shader or the same uniform with a different shader or something. I can't
It's just a shit deal.
buy all
it's
that.
$80.
It is. Yeah.
And it's not like we're not sitting here demanding that, oh, well, we deserve it. No, but you'd like our
do you
money,
want our
right?
money? Yeah, do you want the money or not?
Like, I want to
do you know how much money? Do you know how much money I'm spending with Riot? Yes, I obviously working with Riot, I get incentives and whatnot. But of my own money that I spend on the skins, for example, RGB dropped today or yesterday, or whatever. And I had the RGX knife already, which knives are the most costly thing in the game you can buy. And so I thought, do I really want it? I go check the knife. They drop a bundle when they promote it, and it's very clear they're dropping the bundle. Is marketed very well. I know this shit is dropping because it's in my face in 5 different fucking platforms. I go on there and I'm like, oh, what does it do? And it's a butterfly knife that flicks around and it changes colors. I'm like, oh shit, this is different than the normal RGX. So not only have they remodeled it from the big sword that opens up into this butterfly knife that changes fucking colors and shit, but if you want, you could buy the bundle, which gives you a severe, discount on all the other bundly ones. Or if you go into the bundle, you can buy it separately and it will tell you the separate price for each of them.
Yes. And it's priced aggressively. Like, it doesn't make a ton of sense to buy. If you're buying more than one item individually, you're making a wrong decision.
I buy the whole bundle.
Right,
right. You got to buy the bundle at that point, which
at
I
least
did.
It's an option. At least
yes.
I despise the carousel. I don't know if they still have that in Valorant, the carousel where you only see a certain amount of skins and you have
No, it works so well psychologically. I'm sorry, but it works so well for me.
I understand that it works well, but that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
Like, it is by all means a massive, like, pig move to do that.
Yeah.
It is.
I open the game every day, even if I don't play it, to look at my store. So they've got me.
Okay. That is not a positive. But that's not a positive. Right?
But
the fact that you're so addicted that you have to go in and check is a horrible thing.
Does the fact that Valorant is free to play, though, does it give it a pass when it comes to that?
No, allow people to buy what they want and then price it accordingly. Because if you do not have to put things behind like random carousels that only appear at certain times to give people access to it. If you make something that is good, people are going to want to buy it. I know that this works because otherwise they wouldn't do it. And there's quite a lot of studies into the whole like it's basically gambling to some extent where you're waiting for it to appear and you have to come back reoccurring and checking in. People more likely
it
to
has
buy
me hook, line, and sinker. It really does.
You have to buy it, right? Because it might go away. When is it going to come back?
Absolutely.
But it is predatory beyond belief. Again, I don't really care because I'm not one of the ones that are going to like be harmed by it. And I don't really know if anyone is actually harmed by it. Like if maybe you shouldn't be buying any skins if you can't control your skin purchase. I just think it's a useless thing to do.
My bigger issue with Valorant is the way that you unlock agents. And maybe it's not an issue as much as I just think Siege does it in so much of a more
it's the same thing but different thing, by the way. It's the same thing that Siege does, because you could buy it with Renown, or I can grind XP, which Renown gives me in Siege, the same way in Valorant to unlock an agent, though.
But the difference is that with Valorant, you cannot store the Renown like you can in Siege. So Siege, I can save up my Renown in preparation for this operator to be released. And then once that operator is released, I have my saved Renown. I get it as soon as it's available to me. In Valorant, you can't begin the grind to unlock the agent until that agent is released.
Until it's dropped,
Yes.
But that's kind of the same in Siege when we have like the premium week or 2 weeks of a character.
Which I could unlock in a week easy.
Do you think you can unlock a Valorant agent in a week?
Yes.
Really? Okay. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've always associated the grind being a little bit longer with Valorant agents. So,
I mean, I was in Iceland and I unlocked 3 agents.
Oh, wow.
How long was I in Iceland for? Yeah. So, and I was playing in between event days, so that was rarely ever. So,
I'm actually a big fan of like the unlock of something being a bit longer. Just because of the like the slight feeling of I finally got it. I remember like playing Battlefield, I kind of liked aiming for that last weapon. That was
sure.
I will say, like, if we're looking at something like rank, you should kind of have access to everything because it might have a massive impact on how that game is going, right? But that's the thing. In Siege, like, I don't know. There's nothing for me to chase in Siege when I play it. I just play for because I enjoy the game.
Imagine they had upgrade. Isn't that one of the biggest arguments at the moment? Like, especially on like subreddits and stuff, like weapon level up or operator level up.
Oh my God.
Or role level up or something like that. You know, like not rankings, but you know, you level it up like when I used to play Call of Duty competitively outside of scrims and comp, I just wanted to level up my fucking weapons. Like I was like, boom, I'm hitting every weapon like over and over. Like that shit was so fun to me. It was a long time ago, but it's still fun.
You're just gonna make me even more. You're just gonna make me even more sad. I mean, operator mastery. Hello,
right?
Hello.
It's ridiculous that there's nothing like that.
You just playing the same operator over and over. For what? I mean, I know to win, but like.
No, but that is the good thing because right now, what are you picking your stuff based on? It's all meta bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? I need to play this because this is the strongest. I just don't need to win. I need to win. Like, imagine how much more fun rank would be if people were sometimes playing stuff that weren't that meta because the other stuff was leveled up and they still wanted to make it work.
Yeah.
Like, imagine someone bringing 3 off-meta characters and doing their goddamn best.
And bringing and you know what? Bringing it back to the casual player I was talking about before, maybe we're answering the question here in that there's nothing for casual players to do other than rank up. So they either leave the game or they turn into one of those players that only cares about ranking up because
there's nothing for me to do.
Well, so I'm asking is like, what is when I log on to Siege? Like, for example, I got home the other day, I logged on and I streamed, and I said to everyone else, I want to play ranked because I haven't played ranked in a while. You know, let's jump on, let's play ranked. And if I was honest with myself, why did I log in and stream Siege and play ranked? Was because I just wanted to beat people. I just wanted to beat people. I wanted a win and I wanted the dopamine that's released with that, and that was it. There was nothing else for me to gain by streaming ranked other than that feeling.
That's one of the things that break it makes the game very not pleasing to play because the only thing you're going in to do is this one thing.
Yes.
And if you don't get that, you become angry, you become toxic, you don't put the same effort in as everyone else. One guy is on his rank up game, you're not. Right? Like it has high value for him, low value for you. You don't go in there feeling like you've gotten anything unless you won.
I've made the argument before. If you have that mindset, you are one step away from just being burnout and stopping the game. Because if you only have, okay, we have a rank system that is designed to get you where they think you deserve to be ranked as soon as possible and get you even matches based upon that. Now, granted, we can all meme about the rank system doesn't work, whatever. Okay. But that's the way the rank system is designed. That's what the rank system is designed to do.
Sure.
If you only get satisfaction out of winning and you're playing a rank system that is designed not as a progression, but as a way to get you into even matches as fast as possible, you are going to get burnout on this game very quickly. Okay. And here's the other thing that I'll throw at you that presents a problem here. How can the devs trust any player feedback whatsoever? Because the player feedback from that player is going to be what gives me the best chance of winning, not what is best for the game. And
absolutely.
And so that's a big problem as well.
Absolutely.
But isn't that what we almost always run into with the counters to like half of some of the suggestions? Because the suggestion might, like, let's take the idea of not being able to see your elo, not seeing the actual number, right?
Just the rank?
You can see your rank, but you won't know when you rank up.
Yeah.
Until you do it.
I will argue that is 100% better for the game and for the player. But a lot of players say, no, I want to know how close I am to rank. No, you don't. You like the dopamine kick of being there, but you become a toxic asshole if you don't get it in that match. Whereas you still get the dopamine kick when you rank up. And you might even be playing a little bit better and taking it a bit more serious through the whole thing because next game could be the one. Next game could be the one. In CS, you've never been able to see it.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can in Valorant either, right? You don't know when you're ranking up, do you?
I don't think so, unless I'm missing something. Unless I'm not looking somewhere.
I mean, you see the meter bar, don't you? When you're ranking up in Valorant, like when you get points after a game.
That's your level.
Okay, well, yeah,
your normal level.
I haven't played in like 3 acts, so and they've changed the ranking system a lot since then. So I should just keep my mouth closed. Basically.
Either way, there are games where you don't know when you're ranking up, and I felt like when I played CS, which is a long time ago, sure, but every time I was in a rank, I just wanted to get to that next one. Now in Siege, I know exactly when it's going to happen. It's happening in 3 wins. And then I win 2, I lose 4, and I'm like, fuck. Will you try again next day? It's happening in 6 wins. I win 5, I lose 2. Oh, shit, right?
Yeah.
It's a weird thing that doesn't add anything good. In CS, I would just log on every day and just grind and grind and grind because it was right around the corner. I'm sure I was going to get it. And I never felt like I was going backwards in rank because it was so rare that you actually dropped. It could just take you a long time to climb. It felt way more rewarding. The same with like the amount of points you get back and roll back and all of that. I think just hide the goddamn elo and then tell you some people that you've played against have been banned for cheating. You've received some adjustment to your rank. Thank you for your report. Don't give us the number. Don't let us know if it's positive or negative. Like, there's so much talk about those goddamn numbers and like people will look at a diamond 3 like he's much worse than a diamond 1 or like there's some magical like a gate in between in terms of skill. I've like this season I've gone to champion, back to diamond 1, back to champion, and back to diamond 1.
So what are you?
It's the same fucking people I play against all the time. It's literally the same people all the time.
So bringing it back to the map, what would you guys do as far? Does this bring to light something that needs to change with the map ban? How would you change map bans? Do we get rid of map bans? What needs to happen to allow that casual player that says, hey, I haven't played Siege in a year. They brought out a new map. I want to go play ranked and I want to try out the new map. you know, but I can't because everybody keeps banning it. You know, so what would you guys do as far as the map ban system?
I mean, I don't get a choice in Valorant, and I just suck it up, you know?
Hey.
People dodge, of course, but you get 1 dodge a day you're allowed before
Yeah.
you incur penalties. So, you know, someone on the other team might dodge, or someone on your team might dodge, and then the next you probably get, you know, fracture again or whatever, and you're like, oh shit, they dodged for no reason kind of thing, like whatever. And then you suck it up and you play it. I don't know, I guess. I mean, this is my best comparison is Valorant at the moment because it's the only other FPS that I'm really playing, and that seems to make me suck it up when I have to play, you know, Breeze, for example. I'm not a big fan of Breeze, especially attacking side. It's annoying me, so I just have to suck it up and learn how to play.
CS, again, you press Q, you wait, you see green markers. Once it hits 10, you know you have a match ready. You click confirm. Once you've clicked confirm, you've said, I'm here, I'm not going to go AFK, I'm willing to play this match, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get a map dedicated, you play that game or you get a penalty.
Right.
That's how it should be. Because I have a chance of not clicking confirm if I'm out taking a shit or if I don't want to play or if something happens. But in Siege, I click play game. It finds me lobby without me even knowing. I don't know if I'm 30 seconds in or 6 minutes in, if there's 8 out of 10 people or if there's 6 out of 10. I have no idea how close we are to getting in a match, right? Then I get 3 maps allocated to me. I can vote, and so can the people on my team and the people on the other team. And then we get the map that all of us are the least upset about playing. That doesn't seem like a victory to anyone, right? I can say I want to remove. What about voting for the map you want to play instead?
Sure.
And
well, do you want it like CS where it has like packages, or do you just want it free for all, like bah, 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 bah?
Honestly, I would much prefer that we had no say in what we played and we could go in and set a setting for, let's say there's 10 maps. I can go in and say there are 2 maps I would really, really like not to play.
Okay.
And if a decent amount of people in the same match has the same setting, we don't get that map.
Okay.
So we've had the no map bans. We've experienced that. All of us have.
I love it.
Okay. I think that the current system is better than that system, but with a caveat. At that time, every single map was in ranked, and that led to a lot of frustration. The ranked map pool right now is much better than it used to be, you know.
Sure,
and you know, you can argue all day, is Yacht a good ranked map or not? Okay, whatever. But the fact of the matter is that before map bans, there was a time whenever every map was in ranked and you just played whatever map came up. I think the current map system is better than that. However, I think that given the current map ranked map pool and the fact that they do curate the ranked map pool now, I think I would be okay with going back to no map bans.
But let's be fair, we had more fun before. Like, even though you like the new system more, we had more fun before. Because even though you ended up playing maps that you didn't like, I was not a big fan of playing. But I've had quite a lot of kind of fun ranked games on playing.
Yeah, and you would have the crazy, some crazy, like, remember the mirrors downstairs?
Yeah, and you know what?
And that
we
weird,
had to come up with stuff.
Yeah. No, I get it. Yep.
We didn't know the map. We didn't have a choice. We had to learn what we were going to do. Now you don't. You just remove the new map for months and months and months, and ban it and ban it and ban it, and you play the same 3 maps that you know how to do.
I don't. Maybe I'm stupid because I obviously took a hiatus after Invitational and, you know, did a bunch of Val stuff, and now I'm back, like, you know, doing more Siege things. Why wasn't there a model meant to be implemented just like the new op where you weren't allowed to ban it for a certain period of time, or was that only test server?
No,
what happened to this model that we spoke about?
No, I don't think that model ever existed on the test server either, right?
What? I had a discussion with someone about this. Not you guys, obviously, I would have remembered, but I had a discussion about the fact that you weren't allowed to ban the new op, and that would be happening with the new map or something to that effect. That there would be a model where that would stop that from happening to newly introduced things like the map and the operator. So I don't understand where that idea.
The problem is, like, you can't make the map ban and then make it so you can't ban the new map.
Okay, my chat is saying that did exist on the test server, by the way. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there,
but
I wanted to correct.
No,
I wanted to. Oh, he's saying just new ops. I don't think the map was ever protected on the test server that I'm aware of. Sorry, Zeronic. I just wanted to clarify that.
No, that's cool. I think we should have a list of maps where I can go in and say, you know what, I'd like not to play whatever, 2 maps out of, let's say, 12.
Skyscraper and Canal. Yep, go on.
Sure. And then I think it should be made so we have 10 people and you've all mentioned the 2 or 3 maps that you'd like to play the least. It doesn't mean that you will never get them. But it means that if the majority of the people in that group doesn't want to play that map, you will not get that map.
Sure.
I think that is much better because like there's no reason to have like 10 people that all hate the same map being forced to play on the same map.
I know, that kind of seems.
No real...
And then they're just going to dodge, and it takes so long, and
So
pointless.
Wouldn't logic say, though, that if that system was implemented, the majority of ranked players right now would have the new map as one of the maps that they don't want to play?
Yeah, but what you do is you can just go in and say that you cannot put that one on your do not playlist for a season.
Okay, all right. All right, I'm good with that.
Anything new introduced, you cannot veto that for one season, and it has to be a full season.
I think one potential downside, which I think this is the best possible scenario. Let me just say that to begin with. But if I'm a random player out there that's like, I freaking love Skyscraper. I'm not asking to play it all the time, but I just want to play it some. I think that Skyscraper would be one of those maps that would have a very high deselection rate from players. And, that player that loves Skyscraper might not get to play it.
Well,
I mean, sucks to be them.
Also, there's no alternative because I didn't mind playing Tower on ranked. But Tower gets banned unless I'm in a 5-stack, and we were lying that we were going to ban it, right?
Right.
And before that, I would play Tower 1 in 20 games.
Right.
Max. So I don't think that's going to change. Because there are going to be people that are going to have Skyscraper on their map not to play. But there's also going to be people that have Outback, Canal, Cafe, like any map, right?
Yeah.
And I think Ubi would get better info about what maps people had issues with and what to change. You could just go in and look at the maps that are all on the same, like the 2 maps that in the general population in a certain set of ranks have the lowest approval rate. Or the ones that they go in and tweak.
Yeah.
And then once they receive a tweak, you cannot put them on your list of veto maps for a season. So let's say they come out with a hotfix or it has to be a substantial change. It's not enough adding 1 hatch, right? Now Cafe, Skyscraper, Outback, and Favela are all blocked. You cannot put them on the list of maps you don't want to play.
Yeah.
For a full season.
Okay.
Because they've all seen decent updates.
I mean, Rank 2.0 is coming out. This is a big test,
what's the big downside to it? You're going to play maps you don't like.
I don't think there is. I really don't. The downside is it's going to require some work on the back-end matchmaking and some things that they have to do. So Rank 2.0 is coming out this year. It would be a great opportunity for them to address that. And I hope that they do. I really do.
Me too.
Guys,
I want us to play for fun. That's my goal.
Speaking of fun, the new game mode. We've so much fun. We've been whining a bit here. New game mode, props, really well done. I think I'm gonna say it. I think it's my favorite game mode. It's the only event game mode I've ever played where I do get actually a little bit of sweaty. Like if I'm looking and that score's close and we're getting close to the end, like I'm getting kind of sweaty there.
Golden Gun though, Golden Gun was so good, and the way the bodies flew, and maybe that's just maybe that's a solo thing here, guys.
Mute Protocol.
Okay, that was really good too. That's my second.
It was scarred by the glitches, and they had to shut it down.
Remove the glitch and think really about the game mode.
I think a lot of things in Siege are like that, right? Like the game mode was awesome. A lot of the people that played it were not awesome.
Yeah.
That was the only problem in my eyes with that one. I really like the new event as well. It was super fun. Big issue I have with it is there is very little reason to play it for an extended amount of time.
Correct. I played it once and got it.
Yeah, same. I played it in like a fairly long ago. I think I played for like 2 hours. And then, and this is the same thing with all Siege events.
Yep.
There is quite a lot of cinematics to introduce all of a sudden when you start it up. The matches are fairly short. There's very little, like, why not make it so you progress a little in the event?
Dude.
Like you unlock the different knives. You unlock those based on how long you play. So it becomes more fun over time, right? And the people that you play against get the air depth knives later on.
That answers our question, by the way. That answers our question before. What is the one thing that limits Siege the most? Is that we have one avenue of progression in the entirety of the game, and that is ranked. And that is, I've now had a huge epiphany moment of going, the only reason I play Siege in the way that I play it is it's like, oh, my eyes are like opening and the clouds are fucking drifting away. And I'm like, guys, I only play ranked on Siege because it's my only progression. That is my only area where I can see a slider or a number or a fucking something go boo in any way, shape, or form. That is all we have. We don't in the events. We don't anywhere else. We may be in our level, but people gave up on that because now
it doesn't mean anything.
Rank. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't add anything.
I think there's some games where progression isn't the biggest thing in the world. Like again, CS and Valorant. Once you have all your characters. I mean, CS, there's no characters, but in Valorant, once you've unlocked all your agents, you don't need to go out hunting more because it's a very, and I know that like people are gonna freak out, but it's a very simple game at its core. What the goal is and what you have to do, you can become very, very good at it, without a doubt. Like the skill ceiling is insane. But when I played CS for the teamwork. It was about, you know, I will pop flash you in and we'll take this site, and there was a lot of communication. A lot of that doesn't exist in Siege. And that's terrifying because it's so complex that half of the things you want to do, you can't really do it by yourself.
Correct.
So it should be much more in Siege. But maybe some of that would be there if we were all a bit happier, a bit more friendly, and we had some more stuff to do. Because in CS, if I wanted a little bit of a break from playing the competitive game mode, I could go and play 1v1 or retake maps, or I could do knife maps where you surf around, right? Like, there was so much other stuff for me to do if I needed a little bit of break from CS competitive and I didn't want to play another game. I've had full days of just messing around with custom games in CS.
I love Spike Rush in Val. That's a great mode as well.
Exactly. But you had a massive, like, there was a lot of opportunities and things for you to do. And it's kind of the same in Call of Duty or even in Battlefield. I played semi-comp Battlefield, and that's 8v8. Shooty, no vehicles, right?
Okay.
But in between scrims and all of that, I'd be on a massive server flying around on a helicopter.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I could stay in the same game and there would always be something for me to do. I cannot tell the difference between ranked and unranked. And
I agree.
Casual is just a waste of time because if I have the time to play an unranked match, I might as well play that over a casual.
Progression.
I've been preaching this for a very long time, and I fully agree. I think, you know, bringing it back to the event, I think that you have a couple of different options, or maybe you do both. Okay, one, cater to that casual player by providing them some type of progression for a skin unlock, or the more you play, the more packs you unlock, or something like that. Some type of progression there. Or two, you cater to that competitive player to get them more involved by just a simple leaderboard. And I know that that's going to open up like toxicity. It's going to open up, I don't care, okay? It doesn't have to be a formal ranking system, just a leaderboard. So you win, and maybe you get points for a win, you get points for kills and stuff like that, points for captures, and those points go to an aggregate total, and there's a leaderboard that shows the top 500 or 1,000 or 20,000, and it shows your position on there. Just that would provide some incentive for me to get on and grind the new game mode. And what it does is, back to Zeronok talking about Battlefield, is it takes me out of that ranked grind, and I'm now playing the game that I love, but in a different setting, and it gives me just a different kind of reset in this game. And I think it's a win-win. I think you're absolutely right, Jess. I think that ranked being the only form of progression has led us to a point where the only people playing the game are the sweats and the casual player base. And that's the big difference between CSGO and Siege. Siege has a casual player based background because it was on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. And unfortunately, we are heading to a point where that casual player base has moved on, and all that's left are the tryhards. And it is what it is. Maybe the right decision would be, hey, it's a 7-year-old game. That's going to happen no matter what. So let's embrace the competitive aspect of this game and double down on that. Or maybe there's something they could have done along the way or could do now to bring that casual player base back. Because I really miss my casual Siege nerds. I'm just going to say it. I miss them. They were my favorite people.
Same. And it's terrifying that the slight argument that the game is old, for some people is being used as if, oh, well, they should just they shouldn't just make a new one. No. Like, there are so many small little things that could make it so much better. But Siege sure as hell needs some fucking help right now.
I'm scared to say things as well. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always scared to say criticize something in Siege, because then you seem like you're a hater, and then you are genuinely saying something from the bottom of your heart because you love this game. How many years have we all been in this game? How much have we given of our lives to this game in differing forms? I think it's fair to say that we say a lot of the criticisms with a lot of love because we want it to be better, not because
and I'm not leaving, right? Like, I'm still here.
We're still here, considering all of those things. So I think that for me, especially, it's like one of those things where I'm like, I want to say criticisms, like the marketing thing, for example, is something I've said for a very long time. I think our marketing is very poor, but the people who are in charge of marketing, I want to give some leeway because I know they're trying their best to be the best marketing team that they could be, and they're blocked on whatever levels, corporate levels and all those kind of things. But it's just not good enough. Like, I don't know who makes the decisions, but something has to change on all of these different levels we're talking about for this to be the game that we love again and fall in love again with. And that's a scary thing.
What I'm the most afraid of is it seems like there's been massive budget cuts overall in general from everything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take insider info or a rocket engineering degree or anything. There is, to my knowledge, the whole idea of bringing content creators to events, and it's not even because I'm salty, because right now I'm training Doggo. I'm not going anywhere anyway. But to my knowledge, they're not bringing people out to events. And sure, we can say that that's a COVID thing or something. I don't know. You could have some small events where you brought people out and made some content around it. They did do the tips videos that we all were involved in. And so far, I've gotten pretty good feedback about the ones we did.
I agree.
Again, it was hard for people to find them. And now they're kind of lost because they're on a YouTube channel that you're not going to find by yourself. Game plan, I think it's called, or something, right? It's not really being promoted in game. The Emerald Plains one is right now.
Yeah.
But that's gonna go out of the little news thing, and then it's gone, right? It's still gonna be there, but no one's really gonna find it. It's not gonna pop up or pop off or anything. The ping thing with the leagues, the whole, we have this little icon for the fucking mobile game in Siege. I don't mind that at all. But when I click on that, it gets bigger. Why the fuck do I not have that for comp? How can I not see the stats from every single team? Good on you, man. The mobile game industry is insane and you're going to make tons of money. Great. Then we can get some of that money invested back into Siege, hopefully. But why can't we see the standing of teams in game? CS had the whole Pick'em challenge, which was a massive thing for years. You'd sit there, and once you got it right, you got this little icon. I have a super gold. Yeah, I have a fancy gold one for getting 90% right or something, right? And that felt so awesome. I'd follow the whole event. I was very excited about when stuff went the right way. Why is that not in Siege? You don't have to steal it or copy it, but there's so many ways you could interact with all aspects of the community, right? Well, if you're not on Twitter, you'll lose out on 90% of Siege news.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you don't follow Rainbow Six Game on Twitter, how do I know the Rengoku event? Me, one of the most nerdiest motherfuckers in Siege, didn't know Rengoku event was happening until someone came into my chat and said,
Yes,
"Are you
event's
gonna
live.
play the? You gonna play the Rengoku event?" I'm like, "What? What's that?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, that thing. What is it about? What do I have to? Is it good? There's throwing knives. Okay, why are you telling me?"
Also, why aren't they telling like every content creator with
Why are we not promoting it for again budget and stuff like? But
yeah, but they don't have to pay me to tell me that the event's coming out, and then I can choose
an
if I want to
email,
be
yeah.
live that day, right?
Yep.
Like what's like, fuck, I stream the game either way. I'm not asking for anything, right? I've never asked for anything, but why not just that? It could be a goddamn DM. Yo, event's going live tomorrow. Okay, cool. What time? We're aiming at 5. You know, can't promise anything. Might be another day. All right, fair enough. I can choose if I want to gamble and be on and see if it goes live.
Mm-hmm.
But people couldn't do that because they didn't know.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know how it's doing right now, but in general, unless there is something on in terms of, well, let's be fair. Unless EU or NAL is on, there's never more than 10K people watching Siege.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's it at now? I mean,
7.4.
And that's with
which means
Asia, right? Asia's playing right now, aren't they?
No, they
there
were.
are less people watching Siege right now than there is watching the number 5 Valorant streamer.
Wow. That hurts. And that's 2 days after a special event launched.
Wait, let me see how many people on that. Remember, it just catches a thumbnail, so I can't be sure. How many people on the front page are playing said special event?
Dude, the moment the special event launched, I had 400 people watching me play ranked. I started playing the special event. I played 2 games. I was down to 200. That's how freaking sweaty. Okay, maybe
I'm still scrolling.
Okay, you can blame that on my community.
I'm down to 3 viewers. I'm down to the 3 viewer streams. I haven't found a single one playing the. Where are you guys?
So
that's a gun. That's a gun. Is that a shotgun? No, sorry.
To be fair, like something like CS has a lot of viewers on Twitch because there's always competition and people are like they really care about that, right? If I go on CS right now, CS overall has like 100,000 viewers right now. One of them is like a 30K, a 20K competition. Most of it is just competitions. When I then go to find the first where it's just a person streaming it, I have to get.
They've got 1 viewer.
I have to get fairly far. So CS isn't doing insanely good because of the individual content creator or anything on Twitch, right? But it's not that important for CS because it has so much other stuff going for it. But in Siege, this is all we have on Twitch. We have competition every now and then, which will get the viewer numbers up. Then we have a ton of people that are streaming it with a fair amount of passion. But the interest isn't really there. There's so much stuff that could be done that would make it more interesting to follow and watch. And if I'm watching, sorry,
back to our progression topic that Jess was talking about there. Imagine if I could title my stream "Working on Sledge Mastery today" instead of trying to hit freaking plat today. You know what I mean?
And now I watch you to learn lineups for my sledgehammer, for grenades,
exactly,
whatever.
Yeah. I'm grinding. You see that with COD all the time. Like literally, the title of the Call of Duty streamer will be "Grinding Dark Matter Camo today," or getting all my ARs gold.
But go on.
Getting all my ARs gold. Getting all my SMGs gold. Like that. That is content. And
I would promise you, if we watched the 3 of us play, and we didn't speak, there was no cam, it was just the gameplay, nothing else, no names, no identifier, right?
Yep.
Outside of maybe a little bit of aim left and right, there would be no way of telling. Like, we're all doing the same. We're just jumping in game, we're playing a ranked game, and that's it.
Yep.
There's no difference in the content per se, right?
This whole podcast made me really sad. It has, because I think I'm in a very unique position at the moment in 2022 where I had to make the big scary leap of moving across from one game to another. And I have come to realize, as playing a lot more Valorant recently than I play Siege, that there is so much good stuff in other games that Siege could not necessarily copy, but use their own replication of.
I mean, they
and that
could
would
copy it
fit.
because
Sure, however
all
you
other games
wanted to.
copied it, right? Like,
Sure.
I don't think it's a shame. I played Val back in the Project A thing as well, and I was fairly vocal about, like, Val just copied a fuck ton of stuff.
Yeah.
It's still good. And you don't
Yeah.
have to claim the idea that you invented the fucking gun in a video game.
Right.
Right?
No.
Like,
right.
it's 5v5 or 6v6.
But Siege doesn't need to
like,
do that. There's so much stuff that
Exactly.
they don't even need to copy, face for face. There's so much stuff that they could just even do a fifth of, a quarter of that, and it would fit into the Siege landscape and environment really well, and things would progress quite well. And I think that this whole conversation hurts me dearly, because I come back and the first thing I want to stream is Siege. I now sit in this podcast, and the first realization I have is the only reason I want to stream Siege is because I want to see my rank progress, and there's nothing else for me to look at. There's no other skins. I don't want to buy the event skins because I have to buy the entire packs. I open up Val. The very first thing I do when I go on my computer, I open up Val to see if there's another skin that I like, or if there's not, what about, what I want to play with, who's online.
Yeah.
Like, do I want to play Spike Rush to wake up in the morning, have a coffee with, and then shoot off to do my errands? Like I don't play casual in Siege.
I went through the exact same thing, Jess. Probably 6 months to a year ago, I got bitten by the Valorant bug. And when you go into that game and you really start digging into it, it opens up your eyes to a lot of things that are going on within Siege. Yeah. But I will, okay, full disclosure, as a content creator, there has never been a safer bet than Valorant. From the second that the Project A or whatever was announced, we knew Riot is coming out with an FPS. It is going to be a banger. If you're a content creator and you build your channel upon Valorant and you do things right, you will have a job for like the next 10 years, probably, at least. For me personally, I just didn't have the same romance in Valorant that I've had in Siege.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I don't know what it is, because Valorant's an awesome game. I'm not like taking anything away from it, but my God, there's just, I don't know. I go back to like the 2018 Invitational and just like sitting there in that room and freaking Alexander Remy coming up and just fucking being in that room with like all the people who are making decisions in Siege, and then just being in that arena with all the people who love this game. And I just feel like I have been spoiled by that moment for the rest of my content creation and career, because I had momentum going in Valorant. If I would have stuck with it, I would be in so much of a better shape right now than I currently am. And I could probably even just put Siege down, in all honesty. But I just couldn't find that same romance. And I just...
Yeah.
It's also like...
It's going to take me a while.
I don't think that this discussion shouldn't be so much about, like, if it's easier to do it in one or the other. It should be about, like, is the game... Like, what's good for the game, right? Because at the end of the day, like, we are really not that important. We really aren't. Like, any game will automatically get someone who will rise to do content or whatever. Like, no matter what, it will just happen, right? Sure, we can move from one game to another, or I happen to like Siege. I want it to work. I really do. But I feel fucking terrible for the devs that work on Siege for so long, when it was just skyrocketing. It was going good. And small decisions could have made things a lot different now, right? If they were in development in, 4 years ago, if they just realized some of the things that should probably be in a game of the size that they're trying to get it to, instead of sticking with things for so long that it now starts becoming a little too late to change it. They've lost all the data from Operation Health and before, right? Like, all your stats are gone.
Yeah.
We just have the chance. My overall kills haven't updated in, I don't know, this entire season, I think. Even if they were to do a progression, how are they gonna... What about all the lost data? right? Like, are we just gonna start from that day? Fair enough, it's better than nothing. I noticed I got that little rainbow icon hitting level 500, and
what was that all about? Did you ever get an
that is
answer
the
on that?
coolest. Apparently, just happens when you hit level 500 and it goes away at 501. There's some people in console that have the same thing. Yeah.
I was hoping it would like stay with you, but then like maybe your number would be overlaid on top of it.
It was just a cool little Easter egg at level 500. Most people are never gonna get there.
Yeah.
And that is such an awesome little thing, right? I've played this game for so many thousand hours. I feel like I know 90% of like the secrets and the background stuff and things that were supposed to be there and not. I had no idea about this. I was genuinely surprised. It was the day of getting level 500. It was stream title, blah, blah, blah. I get level 500. My fucking level is a rainbow. And I am happy. Like, that is I'll never forget it. How much does it fucking cost to do that?
I know.
We had like a joy in chat for 20 minutes over that thing.
Yeah.
It's such a small thing. Why is that not being highlighted more?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page there.
Unfortunately, so we're on a very long, sad, page of like us begging, just with our hands up like this. I mean, I would love to continue to be like a variety FPS streamer in a way where I can keep highlighting the great stuff about Siege because I love it so much. And it's not that, you know, playing ranked is quote unquote boring. This is one of the best seasons I've ever played, you know, especially last season we spoke about it and then moving into this one and everything. I really, and you know, all of those things. I think Azami is one of the best operators to ever be added. So I really think there's like all these really good directions of things that already existed and they're just like updating and making better. But I do hope that I can keep loading up Siege and play in a way where I'm happy, you know? Like I don't know, I want to feel like I'm having a good time when I play Siege, not that I'm like if I lose a game I'm like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
That's probably a sad
I
thing.
will also say like one thing Valorant has going for it and even CS, it's such an fuck any other FPS game I can think of that has like a matchmaking thing. I cannot log on without having someone cheating in a day. It will not happen. I cannot play one day without having a cheater.
In Siege, is that what you're talking?
Yes.
Okay.
I've never seen a cheater in Wait, the first week I played Valorant years ago.
I've seen them and I've seen them get banned and I've seen them on stream, but I can easily sit and watch a full stream without seeing anyone play against that. Yeah. At least something that is blatant. I couldn't give a shit if it's a closet cheater because we don't notice it and the viewer doesn't notice it and it doesn't feel like it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Even going a week ignoring everything, not reporting anyone for cheating or anything, you still like every day you just see and there's a name you played against, there's a name you played against, there's a name you played against.
Yeah.
It's good that they're banning them, but it's not enough. And it kills it for the viewers as well. It's the same with the streamer mode, right? Like every streamer playing ranked is bitching about stream snipers because it's horrible. But imagine how fucking boring it is watching.
Yeah.
Like it is not an easy game to sit and watch. Because
and that's what
kind of pissy.
It really, as a streamer, you notice that when you try to play other FPS titles, you know, unless it's a really hot title or something like kind of like mainstream like going on, it's tough to get a Siege viewer to convert to watch you play another game. I can't even get Siege viewers to watch me play the special event in Siege.
Because they're trying to queue against you in Siege.
Let alone.
I was gonna say your fucking viewership tanked when you played that event, and like my heart dropped because I was like, "Is it just me?" Because people know me of playing like comp, and I do my stack, and I'm sweaty. So I was like, "Oh, I've kind of set the title for like that's what people know me as." So like maybe that's why for me viewership would drop. But then you're like, you know, Jess, I went into the event. I'm like, don't tell me your viewership dropped as well. And you're like, yeah, it tanked, and I'm like,
the day of it.
Man, my
first question I got was, "Are you gonna play ranked?"
Yep.
I logged on to play the new event. I logged on to play the new event.
No, get off.
The first question in chat.
Nope.
Are you gonna play ranked?
Yep.
Like, what the?
And you know,
You prick.
it is what it is. Do you guys want to? We got 10 minutes. Do you guys want to talk about the Twitch leaks real quick as before we end here? So there was a Bloomberg report that reported on some potential leaks that Twitch is looking at making changes to the partnership program, and there was a list of a lot of different things. The big thing that grabbed the most attention is that for partners, and this isn't every partner. Okay. There are some partners that have a 70-30 revenue split with subscriptions. So if you pay $5 to subscribe to some partners out there, they get 70% of that $5 and Twitch gets 30%. And they're looking at bumping that down to 50, which is default, by the way. Even for a normal partner, whenever you start up, it's 50-50 revenue split for subs until you reach a certain threshold and renegotiate, and then you get the 70-30. Okay. So they're looking at bringing those partners down to that 50-50 split. They're also looking at adding added incentives for running more ads. And then what else was in there? Anything I'm missing? It basically came down to they want to incentivize partners to run more ads, and they're looking at reducing that revenue split.
Yeah. I mean, there's one that's much more important than any of it.
Yeah.
Essentially removing exclusivity.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Which would be a great thing.
More. I mean that. Everyone's angry about the potential cut on the sub revenue. They've already cut sub revenue, whether people have realized it or not, because the subs cost different in different countries.
Yes, correct. And they had to subsidize it for a year more.
Yes. And they subsidized it, but they're not going to keep doing that. And people kind of forgot about that. The increased ads, I'm 50-50 on that, because sure, it's annoying watching ads. But on the other hand, like, you can't just fucking get content for free all the time, every time without like...
What's that woman's name? You sound like that woman. You're like, I've been streaming for 5 hours and you don't have $5.
Yeah, right? It's like, there are ways to get around not having ads if you really don't like them.
Sure.
But you can't be mad that there's going to be ads running. It's going to suck if they're there all the time. Like right now, there's that default setting. You all got that pop-up.
Yeah.
I think I just clicked yes and moved on. But I think it's 3 minutes per hour is the default setting now. If you don't change anything. And if you choose to run your own ads at times where it fits better, like let's say between queue times and stuff like that, they're not going to hit in a clutch. I keep forgetting because I never manually run an ad. I just don't notice.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be fuming that they do that. I hope they will do the non-exclusivity, because then it doesn't matter what cut they're going to take on anything. If you could stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, all of this at the same time,
you imagine
that increased exposure is going to be worth way more than any sub revenue you could possibly imagine. Imagine you streaming on TikTok Live, like while also on Twitch.
Yeah.
If that becomes a thing, they could take the sub thing away for me. Like, I would rather have that than.
I like Twitch enough. I'm happy streaming on Twitch exclusively. Like, that was never a problem with me. The split obviously was always an issue, and that was obviously fought back and forth depending on my region.
The problem with the exclusivity is that it's insane to ask people to do that.
Yes, correct. Especially with the kind of split.
From a fairness perspective, it just makes no sense. If your product was truly good and better than everyone else, you wouldn't have to force people to stay.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think that's the big...
So, have you guys ever streamed on YouTube?
I think before I was a Twitch partner, I might have, but just to see what it was like.
It's a different culture there. I'm just gonna say
that. I've seen it because I watch pro league on YouTube.
Is it heavy? Okay.
Well, it's just a different culture there. They're not like the culture of subscribing is not there. Maybe that's changed slightly, but like the average YouTube viewer has zero interest in subscribing to you. And
the ad revenue kicks ass.
The ad revenue, sure, yeah, better ad revenue, higher viewership, but I find the chat is, I think that at least for me, and everybody's gonna be different. So as a primary YouTuber, you upload clips, you're uploading commentaries, which features, highlights from your gameplay, and then a YouTube viewer watches that and then come and watches you stream, and it just seems like a lot of time they're like, dude, this is nothing like your video, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Imagine if you were streaming on Twitch, you had your Twitch chat up, and there was also one on YouTube where you didn't read the chat.
Yeah.
Like, what's the loss?
There is none. There is none. Yeah.
That'd be great.
No,
You can also turn
agree.
chat off.
Especially for me. Like this, that would be a real game changer for me. I've got 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. Huge audience.
Yep.
Like I mean, if I stream on YouTube, I get 3 to 4 times the viewership that I get on Twitch.
And you could do it on TikTok, and then all the streamers can sit there and do their little hats or whatever they do, and you don't
is
have
that what
to
you
say
can do?
anything. I don't know. I think so.
I don't know either, but yeah, I assume you
I
can
don't
react
have
on
this.
it.
But yeah, then you could react, or can you not stream on Instagram as well? Is that not a thing? I don't know.
I'm sure it is.
You can stream on Instagram, yeah.
Imagine if you could stream on all the
Wow.
platforms.
I don't know how good my internet needs to be, but I'm gonna look into it.
This sounds
Well,
crazy.
you'd stream
This
to a
sounds-
digest and then split it, so it wouldn't require anything else.
This sounds like an awful decision for Twitch. I mean,
It does.
it really does.
Them scaling their ad revenue is gonna be they make no
They're
money.
still
off
gonna have
subs.
exclusivity with some of the bigger streamers, though. You know, some of the ones
But-
that have signed already. They've already got exclusivity.
The thing everyone's missing is Twitch makes fuck all on subs. Nothing. Like, it is such a small amount of the money that Twitch makes that is off subs. It is all ads.
Mm,
Ads is the only thing that makes Twitch real money.
okay.
Have we ever seen a breakdown of their income? Like, is that
Go
like,
watch Devin Nash explain it. He works together with Twitch and has a YouTube channel. He put a video out, I think actually today, talking about this whole Bloomberg thing.
Yeah,
It is an absurdly low amount. 20% of the entire viewership on Twitch is normally on the top channel at any given time. Like 20% of all the viewers on Twitch were on XQC when he made that video.
Yeah.
He just loaded it up instantly. And then he does the math. Okay, how many subs are there? How many subs are like spread over the platform? What's the cut? What do they get? Compared to the CPM on ads, subs are almost nothing.
Okay. Interesting.
It's a big thing for most streamers. Like it matters a lot for the individual streamer, but it doesn't make Twitch a lot of money.
All right. Well, let's wrap up here, guys.
Yes, I have a meeting to get to, so I'm going to be somber elsewhere.
Any closing thoughts from either of you?
Yeah, please play Siege to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play the new map.
Try
Learn
and
it.
have fun. I won't be at the major. I don't know if any of you guys will. So if you want to advertise the fact that you'll be there and everyone come high five,
Undecided.
Or distance.
Undecided.
Understood. Okay.
Undecided. I mean, I could very easily go. You know, it's on the East Coast. I'm on the East Coast. I could even drive if I really wanted to. I mean, I do want to.
That's not enough.
I don't know. Well,
I put you in a bad spot there. I'll let you
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
that. You figure that out. And yeah, we'll be back next week, I think.
We'll be back when we're back, right?
TBD. We'll be back when we're back.
We're like the most indecisive podcast in the world.
All right.
It's been a pleasure,
See you
guys.
What a big...
Bye.